Last year, I watched a 68-year-old Korean grandmother walk past a wall of pesticide bottles at a garden center, pick up a bag of white rice and a jug of whole milk, and leave. Her tomatoes outperform every chemically treated garden in her neighborhood. Her peppers have no aphids. Her soil smells like a forest floor after rain. And the entire secret to her pest control system fits inside a mason jar on her kitchen counter. Although it looks like spoiled milk, it smells like a gem locker that found religion. And it might be the most powerful thing you will ever spray on a plant. The global pesticide market is worth over $95 billion a year. That's not a mistake. $95 billion. And it depends entirely on you believing that the only way to protect your food is to poison it a little. But on the Korean peninsula, farming families have been fermenting their way out of pest problems for longer than most Western nations have existed. Korea has over 3,000 years of continuous fermentation culture. These are the people who invented kimchi, a dish so culturally important that the tradition of making it, called kimjang, was declared a UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage in 2013. They have been storing food in porous clay jars called ONGGI since the Three Kingdoms period. And in 2023, Georgia Tech researchers proved that those ancient clay jars produce 26% more beneficial lactic acid bacteria than modern glass containers. The Koreans did not study microbiology to figure this out. They just paid attention for 3 millennia. And one farmer took that attention and turned it into something the chemical industry is still trying to pretend does not exist. His name was Cho Han-kyu, and if you have never heard of him, that is by design. Cho was born in 1935 in Suwon, South Korea. He was a peasant chicken farmer who did not finish high school until he was 29 years old because the Korean War interrupted his education. In 1965, he traveled to Japan to study natural farming under 3 teachers who opened his eyes to the world of enzymes, microorganisms, and living soil. When he returned to Korea, Cho did something no one had done before. He took the same fermentation principles that Korean grandmothers had used for centuries to make kimchi, and he applied them to agriculture. Think about that for a second. The same bacteria that preserve your cabbage through winter can protect your tomato plants through summer. Same science, different jar. Cho spent decades developing what is now called Korean natural farming. He trained over 18,000 people. He traveled to more than 30 countries. People around the world started calling him Master Cho. But the chemical companies in South Korea did not call him that. They called him a threat, and they pressured the government to silence him. Cho was imprisoned multiple times for his teachings. Let that sink in. A farmer went to jail for telling other farmers they did not need to buy pesticides. His crime was proving that a jar of fermented rice water could do what a shelf full of chemicals could not. But he kept teaching. Even after prison, even after decades of institutional hostility, he kept showing up and showing people how to grow food without poison. Here is where the story turns and where this becomes yours. The core of Cho's system is almost insultingly simple. It starts with rice. You wash white rice in water, just like you would before cooking it, and you collect that cloudy, starchy rinse water. You pour it into a glass jar, cover the top with a paper towel secured by a rubber band, and set it in a cool, dark spot. Within 3 to 5 days, that rice water begins to ferment. You will know it is ready when it smells slightly sour, almost like sourdough bread, and a thin film forms on the surface. What you have just done is collect lactic acid bacteria from the air around your own home. Now comes the clever part, the part that makes you realize Korean grandmothers are playing chess while the rest of us are fumbling with checkers. You take that fermented rice water and add it to milk. The traditional ratio is 1 part rice water to 10 parts milk. Cover it again, set it back in a cool spot, and wait another 3 to 5 days. The lactic acid bacteria from your rice water go absolutely wild in all that milk. They multiply at an astonishing rate. The mixture separates into curds on top and a clear golden yellow liquid below. That golden yellow liquid is the prize. That is your lactic acid bacteria serum. Strain it off, store it in the fridge, and you have a pest-fighting, soil-healing, plant-strengthening solution that costs you essentially nothing and lasts for months. When you dilute this serum at a ratio of 1 to 1,000 in water and spray it on your plants, something remarkable happens. The lactic acid bacteria suppress harmful pathogens, and they improve soil aeration. They chelate minerals stuck in your soil particles and convert them into forms your plants can actually absorb. Your plants get healthier at the cellular level. And healthy plants, as modern science has now confirmed, produce complete proteins that pest insects literally cannot digest. The aphid lands, tries to feed, gets nothing it can use, and leaves. The plant did not kill anything. It simply became too healthy to eat. Cho proved this on farms across South Korea and beyond. But the real vindication came when the University of Hawaii tested his methods. Crop productivity doubled, water use dropped by 30%, pesticide use dropped to 0, not reduced, eliminated. And here is the part that changed everything. After decades of ignoring and persecuting Cho, the South Korean government finally ran a proper trial. They asked every farmer in an entire county to practice Korean natural farming for 1 year. The results were undeniable. Rice yields went up, input costs went down, farmers sold their harvest at premium prices, and the rivers and coastal waters near those farms started cleaning up. A cooperative of 40 strawberry farmers adopted the system exclusively in 300-foot-long greenhouses and watched their output climb year after year. The same government that had jailed him for his ideas turned around and made those ideas the centerpiece of national agricultural policy. So here's what I want you to take from this. You do not need a laboratory. You do not need a degree. You need a jar, a cup of rice, some milk, a paper towel, and about 10 days of patience. That is the entire shopping list. The bacteria are already in the air around your home, the same ones that have been making Korean food extraordinary for 3,000 years. Make a small batch, dilute it, spray it on 1 row of your garden, and leave another row untreated. Watch what happens over 2 weeks. I have a feeling the difference will make you quietly furious at every bottle of pesticide you have ever bought. Master Cho passed away in 2025 at the age of 89. He spent 60 years giving this knowledge away, traveling the world, teaching anyone who would listen. He never built a chemical empire. He built a jar empire. And it is spreading to over 100 countries because it works, it costs nothing, and you cannot put a patent on fermented rice water. The pesticide industry is $95 billion strong because it convinced the world that food cannot survive without chemicals. One Korean farmer with a mason jar and an 8th grade education proved them wrong. The only question left is whether you will try it. If you want more deep dives like this, stories about traditional cultures who solved problems that billion-dollar industries are still selling us, please consider subscribing. I have more coming. Leave a comment telling me this. Are you going to try the jar method this season? I read every single one. Thanks for spending time with me today. I will see you in the next one.